Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because currently we are still breaking out from this falling wedge pattern, which has an active price target of about 100,000 US dollars in the Bitcoin price. Now, with every breakout pattern, there is of course a point of invalidation, in which case, if we get confirmed candle closes below this 93.2K level, then we have to cross off this price target, because by then it will no longer be active and Bitcoin will no longer be targeting this 100K level. However, until then, even with some short-term resistance that we are facing, which I will show in just a second here, technically we are still simply just targeting 100K in the Bitcoin price, and I will just keep repeating this until we actually invalidate this falling wedge pattern. Now, currently, as I'm recording this, there is actually quite a bit of decreasing volume here in the market. And yes, I am looking at the Kraken exchange on this chart specifically. However, on basically all of the exchanges that I typically look at, there's currently decreasing volume in the immediate short term. However, if tomorrow we, for example, start to see this pick back up, then this could also lead to another move to the upside here. Besides that, we also still have this bullish divergence in the charts on this 4-hour time frame, which is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. This bullish divergence actually confirmed at about 92,000, and typically this points towards either some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum on that 4-hour time frame. So far, we haven't seen crazy bullish momentum or anything. However, we have actually set a higher high and a higher low. So this is actually a bullish type of structure that is trending upwards as I'm recording this video, at least. Okay, coming to this 4-hour chart, and I'm sorry that this is a little bit cluttered, but let me just go through this one by one. Let's first focus on this white descending trend line. So as you can see, we are in the process of basically breaking out above this broader downtrend that we have been in for quite some time here recently. However, with us now trading above that white trend line, we do have to consider some new potential areas of resistance. And in fact, we are already finding some resistance on this red descending trend line here. As of the time of recording, this is sitting at about 95.2K, roughly speaking, but do keep in mind that this is trending down over time. So yes, in the short term, there is some resistance there. In the case that we actually break above this level of resistance, then the next area of resistance to pay attention to is sitting right here at about 97,000, because this can also be a short-term level of resistance. And lastly, the most important level to actually break here is this big level of resistance sitting from 99,000 all the way up to 100K. And this also lines up with our price target. So of course, right now, if you're in that trade, you have your stop loss set at your entry. And personally, I would take profits around this area here. Not financial advice, of course. But regardless, if we actually zoom out here a little bit, and again, I'm sorry that this is getting a little bit cluttered. So far, what I'm seeing here is we basically keep breaking these downtrends over and over again as we're finding some kind of low. Then, as I was talking about over the past like 2 weeks or something, my base case expectation was that we would undercut this low one more time. And then from there, we actually did grab a bunch of liquidity and then bounced from this big level of support, sitting from 93,000 all the way down to 91K. After that, we broke this trend line. So to me personally, guys, this is starting to look better by the day. Now, of course, in the immediate short term, yes, we can come down here once again, potentially like as we're trying to break this area of resistance here. But at the same time, to me, this looks like we are finding some kind of low here sometime soon. I think the worst case scenario right now is like if we were to actually come down once again, worst case, we will sweep like 88K or something like that. And then I will be looking for some kind of bounce to the upside. I know that there's still a bunch of liquidity here. In fact, let me just show you right here. So on this 1-year Bitcoin liquidation heat map, there's now quite a bit of liquidity sitting at 91.4K, and even liquidity as low as about $89,000 US in the Bitcoin price. Although at the same time, we are starting to see some kind of reversal signals here, like that bullish pattern I showed you earlier in the video. We also have this bullish divergence that I showed earlier as well. So we are starting to see some reversal signals, and therefore I'm just saying, like, we don't necessarily absolutely need to grab that liquidity. Potentially we are just going to see a bounce earlier than most people are expecting. But as always, I'm open to all possible outcomes here. If we, for example, invalidate that bullish pattern, then yeah, I simply have to be open to the possibility of us sweeping that liquidity to the downside once again. So that is simply my outlook at the moment. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.